Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Best Bets for this week's UFC card. I'm Chris, and this week we're covering UFC Vegas 59, Hill versus Santos. As always, I'd love it if you guys could support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot. Now let's get into this week's Best Bets for UFC Vegas 59, Hill versus Santos. So first up, we've got our parlay. First one is Battle and Hill, both to win, which is 3 units at plus 103 or $2.03. I'll speak about them a little bit more in depth later, but we'll get on to our other one and I'll explain that. We've got McKenna and Granger to go the distance and Sakai and Spivac to not go the distance. So neither fighter in the McKenna-Granger fight really has a big finishing upside, I don't think. McKenna's got a pretty solid chin. She's got good takedowns. She's got a good grappling advantage here. Granger's pretty rubbish takedown defense, which we saw in her last fight against Ashley Yoda. McKenna's path to victory is easily going to be the takedowns and control. There's a big reach advantage here for Granger, which is like 20 centimeters or something, or 10 inches. But she doesn't really hit very hard, and I can't really see it troubling McKenna in any way. There's no reason she can't get in and close the distance and take her down. I can't really see this one finishing inside the distance at all. I don't know how either fighter's going to do it besides a freak, Molly meatball spinning back elbow. But yeah, I don't see it. I think McKenna's going to be smart enough, as she grows and as she gets older, and as she improves in the octagon. I think she's going to be confident enough just to take her down and just keep her there. That's all she has to do. So I'm pretty sure this one's going to go the distance with the McKenna W. But that price is, I think it's minus 120. It's just, not something I'm interested in. And then the Augusto Sakai and obviously Sergey Spivac fight. It sort of seems like Sakai's chin's sort of failing him a little bit. He's been knocked out within a round and a half in his last 2 fights. I think Sergey's got a really easy path to victory, which I'll explain later as well, just in terms of his grappling and his wrestling and his vicious ground and pound that he does have. I think that's one's going to last about a round or two. So that's 3.5 units at plus 102 or $2.02. Next one we've got is Bueno Silva and Stephanie Egger. So what we've got here is fight doesn't go the distance. And I know it's a women's fight, low-level women's MMA. I know what it's like, but hear me out, trust me. So here they've got 7 out of 19 fights have gone, ended up via a finish. So that's, less than 2/3 of their fights have gone, ended inside the distance. I kind of actually like Stephanie Egger by sub for this one, but I won't be playing that one because I can't trust either of these fighters. All their losses are via decision, but we're just going to play the numbers on this one. I think both fighters have a reasonable finishing upside in terms of their submission and their grappling skills. Fighters doesn't go the distance, 1 unit at plus 160 or $2.60. I think this comes out at a 38% chance of happening. And I just think when 66% or roughly thereabouts, more than 66% of your fights have finished inside the distance, I don't see why you wouldn't play something that's saying there's a 38% chance of happening. I just think that's crazy. So 1 unit there. Small play, but I'm pretty confident in this one, and it's a nice number. Next up, we've got Brian Battle and Takashi Sato. So Battle's dropping down here to middleweight, dropping from middleweight to welterweight. He had 2 wins there. And then Sato is coming off a pretty dominant loss to Gunnar Nelson. So I think Takashi Sato is terrible off his back. He's so bad. He just gets on his back and he has absolutely no idea what to do. We saw him getting taken down once in each round by Nelson. He was 3 out of 3 on takedowns, and he must have had 50 minutes of takedown time or grappling time or control time in that 15-minute fight. He just survived each round once he got taken down, and he just, had his arm up so he couldn't get rear naked choked, and he just had his back the whole time. He does have decent striking, and that's obviously going to be his path to victory there. Now, Brian Battle, he's obviously contender series really. He's obviously a tough winner. He's coming off 2 wins here, and he's dropping down in weight. Now, he's not overly fantastic at anything. Doesn't have great striking, doesn't have great grappling, but he has decent hands, and he's got reasonably good grappling. I know his conditioning was probably a little bit of a worry in his first fight, but he actually looked much improved in his second fight in terms of cardio and just overall how he looked. I think that the move to welterweight's probably going to suit him a lot better, and he's obviously going to be used to fighting those larger fighters as well. His path to victory here is clearly the takedowns and the grappling. I think if he can secure takedowns, which he's had no issues doing in the past, he's easily going to take the W on this one. I also think that he's much more physically imposing than Gunnar Nelson. He's got 5 inches in reach than Gunnar Nelson had, and he's also got 3 inches in height. He's 6'2". Sato's 5'10", and I just think he's just a little bit bigger, a little bit more overly physically imposing than anyone Sato's probably faced before. So we've got him in the parlay at the top, which explains that, but I've got him here for sub 0.5 units at plus 500 or $6. He's got 4 subs to his name. Sato's got 3 sub losses to his name, all inside the UFC. I think that he's going to take him down, and he's going to have 3 rounds to try and get the sub. If he doesn't, he might be win by decision. But at plus 500 for someone who sucks off his back and has got a number of sub losses, I don't see why I wouldn't play this. Next up, we've got Terrence McKinney versus Eric Gonzalez. Now, I forgot to add this one in, so I'm adding it in now. But we have another exclusive for you with this fight. So he's let us know that he's going to try and finish him, which isn't much of an exclusive, but you can see his message here. It's just a bit of fun. So this will add into our prop that we're playing after this. Now, McKinney, we know he's a bit of an excitement machine. He comes in there, he throws bombs. He's got that black belt and swanging and banging. We all know this. And the Ghost Pepper kind of sucks. So 11 of 12 Terrence's last fights have ended up finishing inside the distance in the first round, and he's never been to a decision during any of his wins. I think also he's just technically the better striker. He's got better technical skills than the Ghost Pepper does, and that's where he's going to finish him, or hopefully going to finish him. He's minus 1,000, so obviously we're not going to play minus 1,000. It's just unplayable, but we can get his prop for KO at plus 160, which is just insane because you've got him at minus 1,000. You know he's going to finish him, and then you get his KO at plus 160. Makes absolutely zero sense. But whatever. So that's a 38% chance of victory, or 38% chance of coming off. And it's honestly going to be 50-50 how he finishes him. If it's going to be sub or it's going to be KO. So we'll find out. The Ghost Pepper sucks. Eric Gonzalez, he's not a good fighter. He got smashed by old man Jim Miller last time in the second round, or just after the second round. It was 30 seconds in. So I think McKinney's going to be able to put him away here and just put it on him and put the pressure on within the first round or two. And get him out of there. It's just a matter of how. So we've got McKinney KO 1 unit at plus 160 or $2.60. Next up, we've got Sergey Spivac and Augusto Sakai. We've got the big fat boys coming in. Well, not really fat boys, but big boys. So Sakai, he's a solid fighter, but like I said, it just kind of feels like his chin's failing him. He's been KO'd 3 out of 3 times in his last 3 fights. I think he's a little one-dimensional. He offers punching and punching power. That's about it. Mostly just shifts left, right, waiting for that sort of counter strike. But that's really about it. Once his opponent closes his distance, he goes for the shot. But it's not really anything special. In his last fight with Rosenstrike, he didn't really have to accumulate many strikes on Sakai before he dropped him. And even then, it wasn't like a massive hit that got him. He was just sort of backing up against the cage, and he just sort of clipped him. And when he went down, and then he finished him. So, his only path to victory here is an early power punch that knocks Spivac out. So this is lined at minus 210 or a 67% chance of coming off. And I really don't think that power punch comes more than 1 out of 10 times. Spivac is good. I'll talk about him now. He's good. He's got solid hands, very, very good wrestling, good fight IQ, knows when to take it to the ground, and he's got a very decent chin. If you watch his fight with Tai Tuivasa, he got hit with some of his best shots. And yeah, he just kept walking forward. He didn't really bother him too much. And obviously that win's aged quite well now. He's still young. He's 27, so he's got a lot to improve on. He can still keep getting better. And I think that's really important. And he'll hopefully improve fight to fight. I think the path here is his takedowns, or his path of least resistance here is use his takedowns and use his ground and pound. He's got vicious ground and pound. They absolutely split open Tai Tuivasa on the ground and Jared Vanderaa, and then he choked both of them out. He finished Jared Vanderaa and he choked out Tai Tuivasa. Right. Now I think the sub here is very live, but the odds. Let me check. Odds aren't out yet for the sub. It's just inside the distance, which is minus 130, which I'm not going to play. But I think the sub's super, super live. He's thrown in subs every time they're on the ground. I think he's actively looking for it. Some fighters, they only go for the takedowns and then they just ground and pound, but he's actively looking for a sub, which is something we like to see. And he's never afraid to go for the neck when his opponents give it. So I don't quite know what it's going to be. Maybe like a plus 200 or something like that. I'm not really sure. But we're going to play 1 unit on that when it does come out. But yeah, I have no idea what it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be live. And then we've also got Spivac just to win 4 units at -208 or $1.48. I think he does this one pretty easily. Next up, we've got Vicente Luque versus Jeff Neal. Now, Vicente is action-packed fighter. We love Vicente. Coming out, throwing bombs, throwing subs, throwing KOs. It's just great. We love watching him, right? And that's why they've got him on this card, because this card kind of sucks, besides the 2 fights at the end. So he's 14-3 in the UFC, with only 1 win coming via stoppage, which was to Mike Perry. 1 win via decision, which was to Mike Perry, I should say, who's got an absolute fucking fridge for a head. Everything else has been via stoppage, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, when he's got 14 wins, 13 finishes, which is kind of cool. He's got great range, he's got great striking, which is super accurate, and he's got a great inside leg kick, which he beats up on people with, and his jiu-jitsu game is fantastic. He's got 8 wins via sub, and we saw him choke out Michael Chiesa after almost getting choked out himself, and then he reversed it, got the dash choke on him, which he loves. I think he's got 4 in the UFC off the top of my head. But yeah, we love Vicente, and we love the way he finishes. Now next up, we've got Mr. Hands of Steel, Jeff Neal, 7-2 in the UFC. He's got good hands, and that's about it. He doesn't offer much else in terms of submission or wrestling, and tends to kind of slow down in the second round. He's also got this like really weird thing where he just like looks tired, and then he just like kind of stops throwing any volume. It's very strange. And you can hear his corner screaming at him in a number of fights, "You aren't tired, keep going, blah, blah, blah." So I'm not really sure what that's about, but that's not very good. And he also has kind of shit body language, especially in between rounds. His corner has to like pump him up, get him going, and it's just never a good sign. So I think the leg kicks are just going to be here all day long. It's going to slow down his movement, slow down his boxing, and if Luque can get it to the ground, he's probably going to sub him. Obviously, Jeff Neal's pretty hard to finish, and I was going to play an inside the distance prop, but I've decided against that one. I think Luque's got a really good chance of winning this one. A very good path to victory. And yeah, he eats one to get 2 in, and he's got a super solid chin. I know people say he takes shots, but he only takes 0.2 more strikes per minute than Jeff Neal does. Obviously, it's a bigger sample size, but it's not like he doesn't get hit any more than Neal gets hit. His chin's super solid, and I think he's going to keep hitting Neal, either a decision or a stoppage. So we've got 3 units here. We've got 3 units here at $1.57, or a -175 on Vicente Luque to win. Now, next up, we've got our last fight here. We've got the main event. We love playing the main event. Jamal Hill versus Thiago Santos. So I think Hill is by far the better fighter. The only way that Thiago Santos gets this is if he just gets a massive hand and crushes Jamal Hill's skull in. It's the only way he's going to win this fight. He is 38, he's getting old. Jamal Hill's younger, he's explosive, he's got better boxing, he's got better striking. He's like an absolute sniper when it comes to this. You saw what he did to Jimmy Crute, took 2 exchanges and he was out. Same thing to Johnny Walker, that stupid fucking KO where he hit him and he just like flew backwards like a inflatable fucking waving arm man thing. It was just stupid. And I think Jamal Hill is going to be a top 4 fighter in, I don't know, probably the end of the year. I would say, start of next year. He wins this fight, wins one more, he's top 4 or 5. I think he's miles within Thiago Santos. And like I said, there's one path to victory here, and that happens 1 time out of 10. I think he gets him out of here pretty quickly. It's going to take maybe 1 or 2 striking exchanges, and he's going to be done. Thiago Santos' last 2 opponents, we for some reason saw point fighting Johnny Walker, and he just didn't bring it to him like Johnny Walker normally does. It was just the weirdest thing ever. And then we had Ankalaev, who the same thing, just kind of messed with him for 5 rounds. He didn't put it on him like you saw him put it on Anthony Smith last weekend, but he just kind of like lazed over and it was just kind of relaxed. It was really weird. Anyway, so yeah, we've got Hill 5 units, -236 or $1.36, and we're also going to play the under 2.5 at $1.61 or -165, and that's 1.65 units. Like I said, I don't see this one getting out of the second round, but we're going to play it anyway. But yeah, Jamal Hill is going to get it done for the boys. So yeah, look, that's us done for another week. I appreciate you guys that are subscribing, you guys that are liking the videos. It absolutely means the world to me. I love it if you guys, who are watching could do the same. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.